My name is LeFevre. I often go and use the artist name Ani Mickey because my middle name is Mickey. I am studying social justice and arts and humanities. I work as a drop-in facilitator at the Launchpad, helping the youth of Prescott. I'm drawn towards the nonprofit sector of life and the helping people sector of life. I have no idea what that actually means. I've really enjoyed I've really enjoyed my time working with these teens at the Launchpad. So maybe some youth work is in my future. I'm not really sure, 100%, but I'm not too worried about it either. I love to write. I consider myself a poet, and the first piece I remember writing ever was in the 7th grade, and it was a short story assignment for language arts class, and I had no idea what to write. I had no clue what I was doing. I didn't know if I actually knew what writing was, and I watched the music video to Man Down by Rihanna. And I wrote my short story based on that music video. And it was like, I don't know, it was great. I don't know. That's the first piece of writing that I remember actually writing and enjoying and wanting to, continue. I was like, oh, but this isn't actually that good of a story. I could have written it better. And that's where I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I can write things better. And then I just kept writing and writing and writing. And then, I don't know, yeah. So young age, that's my young age answer. Middle school, high school, I was very active in sports. I was always playing either soccer or basketball. And then to just be in an art class was a nice breath from sports and other academic classes that I'm in, or I was in. So I had those opportunities, and when I could take them, when I needed an extra credit for art because I needed it for whatever, for my transcript, I would take an art class. I was always in an art class. I also, I consider basketball and soccer and, playing instruments art as well. So I was always doing some form of art. I think when I was younger, I didn't have that mindset, and I didn't view more academic or sport-like things with art. But then I came here, and I did. So I have a deeper appreciation for what I did in middle and high school. Miss Rudolph came in my sophomore year of high school, and I was really upset that she didn't come earlier, I remember, because she was really into my writing and really supportive with reuse things, keep editing things, do all the things that writers actually do in the real world, because this is how writers work in the real world. You don't have to keep making new assignments, making new prompts, new this, bust everything out 24/7 all the time. Writer's block happens. Mm-hmm. Shit happens. And she really taught me that. Specifically, randomly through a detectives and film class, we would watch movies and then talk about them and then write about them, and it was very strange, but it was very cool. She was definitely a big inspiration, and Mr. Abrams as well. He was just such a large presence physically and spiritually, and he the sweetest man you could possibly imagine in a giant human, and he's such a teddy bear, and he's so supportive, and he was always there, and he was always giving feedback in a way that was it made you want to keep going. He would say something like this is really good, and this part doesn't fit at all, and you have to get rid of it, but you have to keep with this, and if you need something there, put something else in, but that can't be there. But he'd be so into it, and he'd be like, he'd be staring you in the eye, and he'd just be like, you got it. It didn't ever feel like criticism when they were talking to me about my work, and it was always them talking to me about my work, not talking at me about what I did wrong. Ellen Greenblum specifically is a really incredible art teacher because she manages to give that space to students and like, here are some tools, here are some techniques, use them or not. Here's the assignment, do it or not. You can pitch to me a different project if you want, just do some art because you're in an art class and I have to grade something, and like, just show up. Like, she just expects you to show up to class and try your hardest, and if you have to leave 4 hours early because you're having a mental breakdown, she'll let you. Like, it's just it's really incredible how she teaches art, because I've never experienced anyone in my life who teaches art the way that Ellen Greenblum teaches art, and it's crazy. And I've never enjoyed an art class more. The one I just came out of specifically, I was incredibly grateful to have her as my teacher for, because that project was not only like technically challenging but very emotionally draining, and I was the TA for that class, and we had a few assignments, like a few readings here and there, nothing too much, and we had like movies that we watched in class. But I went up to her like the I don't know, second week right before our first project was due, and I said, Ellen, I can't like whip out projects as fast as you're asking us to right now. I just don't have the capacity to. And she was like, okay, no problem. And I like presented what I had halfway through when I had it, and then I presented it again for the art show when we all had the art show, and I worked for 3 weeks specifically on only that piece. And a lot of days I would come and go when I needed to, because I like needed to go get coffee, or Ellen wanted coffee, or I forgot something at home, or like I needed to go take a lap and like go on a drive and then come back to class. That class was really great in terms of like having the space to do what I wanted and needed to do in order to get this project done. And all of her other art classes, I feel very similarly. Like, I have a similar story with all of her art classes. I made the Armenian Genocide Memorial, and I wrote in markers. I tried to make it look as if people had come up and graffitied on it on the bottom half, or bottom like 16th, I don't know. It's pretty tall. And it's sort of leaning to one side, and it's a triangular prism for those who can picture that in their brains. And yeah, it was really coming from a place of, at first, confusion and resentment and hatred and anger, because there are currently 120,000 Armenians being blocked of electricity and food because there is a blockade on the one road that gives access to all of those things. So we are like actively trying to prevent another Armenian genocide in 2023. And then, I don't know, just all of those emotions mixed with like all of my fatigue and exhaustion and like all of my love that I have it was just such a whirlwind and roller coaster of trying to make this stupid leaning tower of cardboard that I really didn't want to make but it really had to happen because I couldn't properly process those emotions. And then I did, and then I wrote my artist statement. And that's where I could really feel what I was trying to express through creating that. When I think of a piece that is like an activism piece or a social justice piece, I stick with what I know. What I know is that I'm Armenian and I have people who are struggling out there, and that's what I'm going to talk about. I am not a Black woman, so I'm not going to talk about Black women. I am not an Indigenous man, so I'm not going to be talking about Indigenous men. I would love to help collaborate with those folks, but that's not my place. And when pieces have an impact, well, like what you were saying, like why don't we have more arts at Prescott because of this piece, like because of people doing this sort of thing. I want to challenge Prescott to look at what they think social justice art is, because it's not just plastering a poster of something. Yes, it is, but also be aware of what you're doing. And when it is personal, it's that much more impactful. And when it is impactful on an individual level, like you were saying, it is there's that extra layer of not just social justice, but self-reflection and self-awareness. If we actually put funding into the arts programs here at Prescott, it wouldn't be oh, are you taking an Ellen class or a Sheila class? It would be, are you going to take a writing class? Or are you going to take a painting class? Or are you going to take a photography class? Or are you going to take... Yeah, exactly. And you're not limited to one professor who also, teaches all of those things. Carl Sweets teaches a lot of classes, plus a math class. What? I understand if it's a short staff problem, but is it a short staff problem and a funding problem? Because where are the art programs? They're gone.
Yeah.
They're gone. There's no more ceramic anything. We have kilns sitting in the warehouse that apparently is being sold again this year. We keep selling all of the art buildings and art spaces. We don't have really, we could have, art as therapy, art as writing, art as photography, art as film, art as blah, 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 art as social justice movement, art as blah, 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 art as science, art as food systems. Just keep going. You don't have to separate. That's the reason my roommate came to the school.
Right.
It was because of the art program and that building.
Yeah.
He got here, that building, gone. Half of the art program, basically missing. When we came, even before COVID, there were better art classes and there were more art teachers.
Yeah.
I don't know if COVID changed that. I don't know if the president changed that. I don't know if the cyber attack changed. I don't know. It could be all of those things combined. But if you're trying to save this college, you better hurry up and put in some more art programs and put in some more art everything, because you're losing art students.
Yeah.
And I know you don't really care about the art students because you got Adventure Ed going for you.
Yeah.
But soon you're just going to be in Adventure Ed program.
Right.
You're not going to be college anymore. I'm not trying to bash on Prescott College. I'm not trying to say I am trying to say step it up, because they should step it up. But I'm not trying to be all of you suck, fuck you. I've enjoyed my time here. I've had some moments where I've been fuck you, but those are moments. They don't last forever. If they actually truly want to stay afloat and they don't want to be just an online college or an Adventure Ed program, they need to invest in their art students and they need to invest in their social justice students. The science, psych, and Adventure Ed programs are all doing pretty well. And the art and social justice programs aren't doing too hot currently. If they want to save those, this school is 91% tuition based.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if they want to keep their students and keep a lot of their tuition, they better put some funding into these programs,
Mm-hmm.
or it's not going to go well.